the Congress, as is true in Europe with the European Union, has Facebook and Google and Apple and Microsoft and Amazon in their target zone. They're worried about their power, they're worried about their size, they're worried about monopoly questions, they're worried about the impact they have on not just democracy in Facebook's case, particularly, but also the impact on retail businesses and every other business. So Congress is the hearing starting tomorrow in the Senate and then the next day in the House with Zuckerberg. He's just a prop. They're the actors, and they're going to perform on stage making like they've been dealing with this issue a long time. They haven't. They've been very late to the issue of, say, privacy. But Zuckerberg, no matter what he says tomorrow, he's going to get beat up.
So what do you think the government will do or should do, or what scenarios could you envision?
Well, I mean, there are questions. First of all, you start at the most extreme position, which is antitrust. Do you break up companies, as it was proposed that Microsoft was broken up in 1999 and 2000 in the trial, which I covered actually for the New Yorker. They decided, the Court of Appeals, not to break up Microsoft. The original judge in the lower court decided to break them up. There's a real argument that technology breaks up these companies and weakens them over a period of time. The counter argument today is that with network effects, that if you have 2.2 billion users, as say Facebook does, it's very hard for them to lose, or someone else to come on and have that kind of scale in the future. And that's a real issue. So if you don't invoke the antitrust laws, and it's a real stretch to bring the antitrust laws against them, because they bring in cheap prices. It's free, Facebook. How are you charging that the consumer is hurt by that? You know, it's a real argument. The next question is regulation. Do you regulate them on, say, privacy? Do you insist that instead of the consumers automatically having their cookies available to Facebook and Facebook being able to share them or sell them to others, do you say, oh, no, what Europe is now doing, Western Europe, you have to opt in, not opt out. And to opt out is very hard, meaning if you're a user on Facebook, you don't want them to have access to your cookies, you have to go through a laborious procedure to opt out. The argument is that you won't have my cookies unless I opt in.
And Ken, finally, I wanted to ask you about the book. I know we're not going to talk about it quite yet until it comes out, but what's fascinating about this industry that keeps you writing about it all these years and brought you to writing the book?
Well, the thing that's fascinating about advertising, I mean, I got into the idea of writing this book, writing about the media for many years as I do, and books about the media. If you follow the money, the old Watergate adage, the money comes from advertising, most of the money. And without advertising, there are no newspapers, there are no magazines, many TVs would crumble. Facebook and Google are totally dependent, almost totally dependent on advertising dollars. So advertising is is the ATM machine for all media. And then the question becomes, if advertising is being disrupted, as I think it is, particularly with the cell phone, people don't want to be interrupted on that. And it's a small screen, and it consumes battery space, and the kind of ads that you see, you know, pre-rolls and stuff, are annoying to people. Then what happens if advertising is threatened? Do you replace it with subscriptions? But how do people afford subscriptions when they're already stretched too thin in their income? So there are huge issues involved, and you got privacy issues, you got artificial intelligence issues, and all of them part of the canvas that I try and follow.